See, the new jail, he finds out the Good Brothers is in full-fledged conflict with the UBN, the United Blood Nation. This when they was forming their first unit up there. That was a new thing in the Maryland system. They had only been around for about maybe 2 years, but their numbers were starting to grow. But anyway, when Tion got over there, they put him in a cell with a Muslim brother named Musa. And looking at his tattoos, Musa already knew Tion was a good brother. So he gave him the heads up and told him, like, you know, your people's at war with the UBN. So Tion like, yeah. Musa like, yeah, it's a couple of them on the TED too. See, they was on lockdown. When he came on the location, they just took and put him straight in the cell. Because he took up the bed space for the nigga that guy just flew up out of there. So that's what the Muslim nigga was telling him, basically, like, yeah, the Good Brothers hit the UBN dude that was his cell buddy out in the day room. Stabbed him up real bad. And the Bloods had jumped on the brother that was getting out the shower. Stabbed him. So it was a green light on all the Bloods. And then vice versa. Now, because they was on lockdown, Tion hadn't even got a chance to come out and meet none of the Good Brothers. So he ain't know who was behind them doors. And he got sent down housing unit 7 in that new jail. They call that blood country. It was mad bloods down there compared to everywhere else in the system. That was like their little headquarters for the UBN. But anyway, he got sent down there. But even though they called it blood country, it still was the equal amount of Good Brothers down there in housing unit 7. So Tion get to asking Mustafa, like, how long we supposed to be on lockdown? So Mustafa get to telling them, like, it shouldn't be no more than a couple of days, usually be a couple of days. So while they talking in mid-conversation, the tail runner come to the door and slide a kite up under the door. Tell Tion it's for him, that's for you. So Tion get the kite, open the kite, get to reading the kite. The tail runner stay right there in the door, in the crack of the door, while Tion read the kite. And the kite is telling him, like, your bunk buddy, he a Muslim, but he a blood too. Like, don't trust him. Definitely don't sleep around him. Roll him up out yourself. And after Tion read the kite, he looked back over at the door, and the tail runner was looking in the door at him like, and slid a newspaper under the door. Tion bent down to get the newspaper. The Muslim dude jumped off the bunk, whip out a blade like, don't open that up. So Tion like playing it off like, what you talking about? Muslim nigga like, man, I ain't crazy, man, don't open that newspaper. Tion not listening, he still unfolding the newspaper. The Muslim nigga reacting off impulse, jumped straight up, get to hit him with that blade. Tion managed to work up the strength to push him to the back of the cell, get him up off of him. And he gets the blade out the newspaper, but he's leaking. The hall runner outside the door looking in like, fuck, because he a good brother. So he outside the door holding up a net bag trying to get the door popped, basically saying he trying to give them their laundry. But the CO wasn't paying attention. But anyway, when Tion finally get the blade out, it's a big-ass great white shark, one of them city jail joints. When the Muslim nigga see that, his eyes light up. He standing there holding his blade. Tion just rushed him. They both swinging. But Tion grabbed his arm that the knife was in, and the Muslim nigga couldn't move his arm. Tion just get hit. The Muslim blood nigga collapsed. Then the door just popped open. The tail running nigga running the cell. And bear hugged the good brother, grabbed the good brother, take the knife out of his hand, flushed the knife down the toilet, and pull him up out the cell. The Muslim blood nigga wasn't breathing. When the police that was in the control center seized the tail runner, pulled the brother out the cell, they run down on the tail, called the code, because he was covered in blood. It's a trail of blood coming out the cell, because he stabbed up his motherfucking self. He leaking, but the Muslim blood nigga wasn't breathing. Everybody else locked in, looking through the windows of their cells. Ironically, it's quiet as a mouse. Everybody just looking. You can hear a pin drop. The police pulled the Muslim blood nigga out the cell. He had his tongue hanging out his mouth. Done for. Police locked Tion up. They come in that bitch taking pictures. The Muslim blood nigga had a knife in his hand when they found him. But the good brother, the tail runner, he flushed Tion's knife. They never found that. So the blood nigga checked out. And the tail runner dude made a statement in the brother's behalf, saying he seen the whole thing through the window. Dude jumped out the bunk, stabbed the brother. They end up tussling for the knife. The brother took the knife from him, stabbed him with his own knife. He ends up tussling for the knife, taking the knife back from the brother, but end up collapsing with it. That's the story the tail runner brother told them. And because this happened within hours of him being in the jail, being in that cell. They knew he didn't have time to acquire a knife, so they thought. So the story sounded true about it only being one knife. Because the prison was on lockdown, he didn't even have time to come out and get a knife. So instead of giving Tion the street charge, they put him on administrative segregation, pending investigation. Meaning he wasn't on lockup, but he had to go over in the lockup building, be in the cell 23-1, but he got everything in the cell, his TV, all that shit, his commissary. He just can't come out of the cell until his investigation over with. And during that investigation, they decide whether they want to put charges on him or not. Meanwhile, over in Roxbury, they had put Nolan in the housing unit too. His caseworker had him sign up for job readiness and all that, being as though he was getting short on time. So he went to job readiness 4 times out the week. He wasn't getting on the phone like that up there because the phone call is $11 a phone call when you call Baltimore, so that was out the window. But he was pushing that pen a lot, writing a lot of letters. Mostly him and Tion would write each other. They would send their letters to Nolan's mom house, who had went to rehab and been clean for the last couple of years, when he got herself together. They would send the letters to the house, and then what she would do is she would take the letters and then send them to each other like that, because they wasn't letting niggas write jail to jail. But anyway, he hadn't heard from Tion in a while. He was wondering what was up with him. Now, when he got up Roxbury, he noticed immediately how militant the Good Brothers up there was. Back then, you really ain't know who the Good Brothers was until it was too late. And there was something about that he liked. And there was a lot of high-ranking big brothers up Roxbury at the time that he had never got a chance to meet. He had only heard about some of the legends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so when Tion get up MCTC, the new jail,